your eyes holding up?
Oh, they're fine. And
Nice.
I've gone.
That's insane.
I've gone 20 minutes so far without blinking. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Who's Joe YouTube Edition.
Who's Joe?
Who the is Joe?
Who's Joe?
Who's Joe?
Who's Joe?
Yeah. Who is Joe?
Today we are here with a man that obviously needs no introduction, BeckBroJack, for our 5th staring contest. I am currently 4-0. We're going to see if we can go 5-0 here, but can I call you Jack? Is that fine?
Yeah, Jack's fine. A lot of people call me Jack or Beck. It's a little bit confusing with my name, but yes, I am the one, the only BeckBroJack. I make a ton of gaming videos on YouTube. Definitely, if you haven't already, check me out.
Alrighty, well, I was going to ask you to tell us a little about yourself, but I think you already did that.
Yeah, other fun facts. I love cookies. I'm 22 years old, and that's all the fun facts I got.
Alrighty. So I guess let's go ahead and get into the fun part of the video, and let's do the staring contest. So
Let's do it.
I will give a countdown from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Now, one question I have done in all of my staring contest videos so far, so I'm going to keep up the tradition, is if you could collaborate with anyone on the internet or anyone alive, who would you collaborate with?
That's definitely a tough one. Anybody alive, I feel like it would have to be some big prominent figure. I would love to have either like PewDiePie on. I could have maybe another YouTuber, Preston Plays. I think he's a really, really cool guy. But just other bigger YouTubers in the YouTube space, I feel like they know obviously how to record videos. They're super lively and animated, and just they seem like a lot of fun, honestly. So it'd probably be either of those two.
Do you want me to call you out on the fact that you've already blinked?
I know. Yeah, I think I've blinked like 3 times already.
Well, one thing I also, I mean, I'm 5-0 now, but one thing I also do is I try to keep from blinking for the rest of the interview. So,
Okay.
staring contest portion's over, but let's see if I can keep from blinking for the rest of the interview.
That would be impressive.
Now, I went back and watched your very first video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I watched the Wrath of the Fallen adventure
Oh.
map. What brought that on?
Yeah, it was a little bit of like a long story. I'll try to shorten it, but the whole entire concept for that was because my cousin and I would watch other YouTubers for the most part. I think I was 13 or 14 at the time, and we saw the Yogscast crew all play the Wrath of the Fallen map by Hypixel. That was like the big craze, the brand new adventure map. We were like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. And then that was the first video that I've tested out. How do I edit it? I made like a custom intro for it that obviously wasn't the best, and sort of just started testing out how video production actually works. And then we continued that series on, and that was like my first ever YouTube dedicated series that I've made on the game Minecraft.
Okay, now Minecraft has kind of been your thing. You've done mods, you've done mob features. Do you ever see yourself branching away from Minecraft? And if you did, what do you think that would be?
That's definitely a tough one. I've thought about it a few times over the years, especially during the Fortnite, whole rise of that. Other games like Among Us are really, really fun. I honestly don't know if I'll ever fully branch away, unless it comes to the point where Minecraft just they make a lot of wrong moves, which I honestly don't see them doing. They've been the most sold game obviously in all-time history. They still get 100+ million monthly players, so it's a lot of fun for me. Even after 8 years, people ask me how I haven't gotten bored, and it's honestly because there's so much to do, as I'm sure that most people watching have seen. You're bound by your imagination, and you can pretty much create anything that you want in the game. So I think that I'll definitely remain with it, especially because that's where I, came up and a lot of people know me for Minecraft. But other games that I think look really fun, Roblox is something that I really am interested in. Also, like GTA 5, I've never really gotten into that game too much, but as my audience kind of gets older, I could maybe age up with them, or just try like other smaller indie games. Like I'm a pretty big gamer, so I could see myself really going anywhere at this point. But I'll probably always hold true to my Minecraft content.
Well, there's definitely lots of indie games out there, and I even made a Roblox game myself about a year or so ago. But one thing about Minecraft is that in terms of video games, it's getting kind of up there in years. Oh, in the next 5 years or so, do you think Minecraft will still have the steam it has now? And if not, where do you kind of see other Minecraft creators filtering out to, including yourself?
Yeah, I think the other biggest rival to Minecraft at this point is the game Roblox, just because similar to Minecraft, like anybody can create a custom game within Roblox, or custom anything really. It's very user heavy, where communities can come in and create anything that they really want. There's teams forming now, and there's millions of players playing just singular games, which is really cool to see. So that would probably be if Minecraft ever did die down, and just the popularity wasn't there anymore. That would probably be where most people, at least in my position, would probably jump to, just because there is that same level of like customization, where you could pretty much do anything that you want as long as you're able to create it. So that would probably be like the main game that a lot of people would jump to if Minecraft's popularity ever sort of started dwindling.
I watched a video I think you posted about 4 years ago where you talked about 25 things that you wouldn't know about BeckBroJack, and you mentioned that your first console was a Nintendo. And
Yes.
Now, what was the first PC game you ever played? Do you remember?
The PC. So I actually, funny story, I stole my dad's computer. Not like really stole it, but I kind of hijacked it from him because I just started, slowly getting into PC gaming, and didn't use my Xbox as much, which was my first ever new gen console. But yeah, I kind of slowly commandeered my dad's PC, and if I'm not mistaken, Minecraft was the first game that I actually tried on it, because the Xbox version was great, but like everything that was exclusive to Java Edition really kind of it made me want to play it even more, especially because it was further updated. So that was the first version and first ever game really that I played on computer.
I completely understand the children commandeering PC thing, because my daughter's trying to do the same thing with my computer.
Yeah, eventually I won that battle, but then I got my own, so it kind of worked out.
So, one roaming theme through your videos and through your merch is kind of the whole cookies thing. Where did that come from?
I mean, it originated just because my dad has a huge sweet tooth, and he would always have just cookies in the house. Especially the Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies, the Milano cookies, just really anything. So I would always just kind of secretly find his stash, and then just kind of take one here and there. And then that just became my favorite dessert. And then that kind of slowly transitioned into Minecraft, especially because there's not very many dessert foods in Minecraft. So once I saw cookies, I was like, this is my favorite thing ever, especially in real life, favorite dessert. So might as well just kind of add that into my BeckBroJack persona. So it was kind of hand in hand, and it just made sense, honestly.
And I guess same thing along the lines of cookies is how was Bessie created?
Bessie, see, that's where it kind of gets lost in time. It was kind of just this character that I created. I don't know exactly when. I've gone back and tried to find the video where I created the character of Bessie, but I could never find it. But it originally, before that, I used to have 2 other characters. There was a bat named Pat and a spider named Franklin, and those were like my mod showcase, characters that I created. So I sort of have always, kind of had characters, especially when I got into modded content. And then once I got rid of that specific world and kind of started a new survival modded series, that's when, I had Bessie there. I created like my house around there, and it kind of just kept going with it. The idea that, Bessie was my helper alongside this robot, Rodney, who came later. That was kind of like the little cookie stealer robot.
Right.
Just as like some sort of like bad character that, would always be messing up things, which, he did at first because I didn't really understand like what he did. But yeah, those characters, people just kind of took with them. So I just decided that it would be best to, keep them and give them, more roles in the videos, which ended up working out.
So, being an older gamer myself, when you had your Nintendo, did you ever have to blow on a cartridge to get it to work?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, Nintendo 64 specifically, I was just all day long. If I wanted to play any sort of Mario Kart, every single time I would have to take it out and blow on it. I didn't even know why I had to do it. I saw my older brother and dad do it, so I was like, yep, every time I play, just blow it out.
I don't think any of us really knew why we were doing it. We just knew that it worked.
It fixed it. It really did. It was a beautiful thing.
Do you remember the very first thing you built in Minecraft?
Oh, yep. Dirt House. It was my first ever time playing with my cousin Christopher, who was in like the earlier videos, like you mentioned. We didn't know what we were doing. It was early Minecraft, probably like 1.3 or 1.4, and we had no idea how to build. We didn't even really understand how to craft because there was no guide at the time. You kind of just had to figure it out, which was, what made Minecraft so much fun. And yeah, we didn't really understand like how to make an actual house, so we just dug a hole in the ground and just kind of put everything that we needed down in the the little diggity hole.
I think everybody kind of does that, honestly.
Yeah, that's like your first home.
So say that Bessie built you a time machine to go back
Ooh.
and talk to your 13-year-old self. What would you say?
That's tough. I've seen these prompts a lot, and I'm always kind of thinking to myself, what could I even say? I think the main thing I would say is kind of just do what you're doing, but do more of it. Like when I initially started, I didn't really treat it as like anything that I thought could turn into a career at the time, which I guess was a blessing and a curse because I kind of took it very nonchalantly as like a side hobby. It was like kind of in the back of my mind, just a fun thing to do after I was done school, homework, sports. But if I were to tell myself, kind of just at least do it like a little bit more than I did, I think I could have definitely propelled my success even further. But yeah, I'm happy where I am now, so I think it all worked out.
I would think that you should be.
I'll just tell them, yeah, like keep going, keep doing what you're doing.
Interviewing you right now, I kind of feel like the ant interviewing the giant. So, say you had a young entrepreneur approach you. What book or books would you recommend to them?
There's a couple. The first one is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's definitely like a go-to, just overall mindset book of the whole model of there's a lot of money in the world, but there's also a lot of opportunity, and you just kind of have to look at the world a little bit differently in order to grab that opportunity for yourself. That was something that my dad recommended for me. So that would be like the first book I would just recommend everybody read, honestly. But another one that I'm reading right now, which applies more to like entrepreneurs in any space, is called The E-Myth. It's really, really good. It kind of spells out how most people, when they start a business, they kind of are the technician. They're doing a lot of the work. Pretty much every single aspect of the job is what they're doing, and they don't have time to focus on the bigger picture. So it's about setting up systems of different people that can help you do those technical jobs, and then it allows you to focus on managing them, but while also focusing on the future. So that would be like another good entrepreneurial book that I would recommend.
That makes perfect sense. And one thing, like I also dabble in writing. And as a writer, one of the main rules is writers need to also read. So to hone your craft as a writer, you need to read to know what other people are doing.
That makes sense.
Do you watch other YouTubers to kind of keep up your pulse on what's hot, what's being done?
Yeah, way too much. I probably do a lot more than I should, honestly, or than I need to. But I feel like just because this has become my full-time career, I'm just always looking at, like what other people are doing, trying to study them. That was like a big part of, I think why I was able to propel myself in like, a short span of time, especially in like the past, 2-3 years. I've been able to kind of exponentially grow. And a thing that I did when I turned 18 and decided like this is what I wanted to do as a career is watch other YouTubers, especially like, the people at the top of my game, which was Minecraft and still is, and just kind of sit there with a notepad, take notes on what I liked, what I didn't like, and just, try to figure out how I could apply those things to my own, videos and content. So yeah, I think that's like super important. Obviously you need to know what's popular and then take what you like about that and kind of have your own little spin with it.
That makes perfect sense. I think we've covered everything that we need to at this point. One thing.
Are your eyes holding up?
Oh, they're fine. And
Nice.
I've gone.
That's insane.
I've gone 20 minutes so far without blanking.
I've blanked at least like 20,000 times.
One thing I do at the end of every video, and I'm going to add a new thing to it, is I've always done that I get, I've won each time so far, so each time before I've gotten my competitor to say, I was not able to beat Joe in a staring contest.
Okay, got it. Viewers, I was not able to beat Joe in the staring contest. He is a god.
And one thing I would like to start doing is getting my opponent to call out somebody else that they think should come on and do a staring contest video with me.
I mean, my little brother, I think, would be great for this. He kind of is like in the early stages of YouTube, and I feel like he would just have a completely different perspective on everything. So I would call out my brother, BeckBroAdam, for the staring contest.
That would be wonderful. I would love to have him if he's available.
I think he should be. Yep, he's just a college kid, I think he's got a lot of time, especially with like quarantine.
So I almost forgot. My daughter's birthday is the exact same day that this video will be coming out. Would you be willing to give her a happy birthday because she is a huge fan of yours?
Of course. Maddie, happy 9th birthday. I hope it is filled with tons of presents and cookies from your father.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
Alrighty, well, thanks so much. That's going to be it for this episode of Who's Joe YouTube Edition. If you haven't already liked the video, go ahead and do it. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. And in the unlikely circumstances that you haven't already subscribed to BeckBroJack here, there is going to be a link to his channel in the video description. Go ahead and go there and subscribe to his channel. There will be a video down here in the bottom left that I've recommended, a video in the bottom right that YouTube has recommended. Watch one of them, watch the other one, watch them both, watch them all, and go watch all of BeckBroJack's videos all the way back to 7 years ago with Wrath of the Fallen.
There's only a couple thousand. Good luck to you.
Well, thanks so much, and we'll see y'all the next time.
See ya.